And then they started the podcast a second time.
Wow.
Hi, welcome to the Slalt Cast.
This is our second time starting the show because me, your host, Dan, fucked up the audio a little on the first take. I'm joined today by the wonderful, illustrious, just thank fuck he trimmed his neck beard. It's Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you
He's
for
here
having
for
me.
his bi-monthly appearance.
No.
Speaking of bi-monthly.
That's what I was laughing
We
at.
have our next host, Coby.
Oh.
So for those of you who don't know, we stream this show live every other Wednesday on twitch.tv/SlaltCast.
Wait, isn't it every week now?
Nope, every other week.
Nope, it's
Shows how-
we changed it back very quickly.
But in the pre-show, that's the show before the show for you plebeian listeners who don't understand the chadness of our Twitch audience.
Okay.
Before the show, Coby said he had pre-show topic, and then I heard it, and I was like, no, this is definitely a main show topic. Would you like to reintroduce what you'd introduced?
Okay.
Cobias?
So Joseph has recently started talking to a girl, and he told me, yep. Can't
If
wait
you clap
for him
yourself,
to
you're an ass. Or respect gone.
Yeah, done. So Joseph told me in confidentiality. He didn't tell anyone else.
No one knew.
else.
Yeah,
No
that's
one knew,
I didn't hear
you
about
know.
this.
I'm putting him on blast on the podcast.
Leak
I'm
it?
telling it to thousands, if not tens of thousands.
Hundreds of
possible.
thousands, some
Well,
say.
if we
Not
ti- if we
millions of
times
listens.
if we times our viewer base by 10, no, by 1,000, by
If we
100.
times our viewer base by 1,000, it will be thousands. 1,000 to be exact.
So
Wait, no, it's 10,000.
Joseph regaled to me. Did I use that word right, Dan? Did I use it right?
Regaled,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of got the idea. The grammar's not 100% there, but it'd be Joseph regaled me with.
Oh, sorry, yes. Joseph told me about how he began to talk to this girl. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. So how it went down, I'm going to explain this, even though Joseph is here. I'm going to explain it. How it went down is he told me that what had happened is this girl went to his Instagram and liked some old pictures. Joseph didn't post. It was very unannounced.
So
And
she went back to old pictures.
from what I understand, not old pictures. I assume fairly recent ones. Just ones that she hadn't liked. Now, for context, this person is a friend of an old homophobic friend, and we
We're not supposed to know that, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, but just don't say names. We're not going to name anyone from this story going forward.
No one's named. No one listens.
But
to
also,
this,
fuck
Joseph.
homophobes.
Fuck homophobes. For
So,
audio listeners,
Joseph's being coerced
Joseph-
by the chat to put on a Stormtrooper helmet.
yeah, and he also almost knocked over his lightsaber.
And if you want to see how cool that looks, head over to the YouTube version of the podcast where you can see the video and all of our mine and Joseph's pretty faces and Kobe's face.
Yeah. So anyway, Joseph had, from what I understand, met her once in the way you meet someone at a club in the line and then on the dance floor, where you say, hi, nice to meet you, and then talk back to your friends, and then you see them on the dance floor and you dance. We rode on the floor, though, so it was very memorable. It was a very memorable time. Joseph, I'm waiting for you to drop in a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was wearing.
He was in his own world.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I was wearing a helmet. I was coerced by chat to put a helmet on, but
Yeah.
Well, it's incorrect. We actually met her, we're with them the entire night. It wasn't I met them.
But anyway, I mean, even
Once.
still, it was only a night or two.
Yeah,
having
yeah.
Yeah, no, it
That
wasn't.
was
very long.
before COVID.
It was
Yeah,
last
well
year,
before
January.
COVID.
It was
Yeah, it
after
was
our
a-
gig. It was after our gig, Coby, at
Ben's.
at Ben's. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty cool time. Anyway, Was that the night I took the plate back? No, it was the
I think it might have been beforehand because you
when we
picked
took
me
the
up.
plate back to that person who wouldn't like me.
Well, now we know why.
Homophobe. Recently outed. Recently outed.
So anyway, Joseph was telling me the story about how she went back and liked his pictures unannounced. Now, that's all the real context you need. I just thought it was a hilarious situation that's what flirting is in 2021.
I just think it's funny.
No.
First off, like that's such a bold move, going back and liking older photos. That's a very forward move, I dare say. So you know,
Very.
Because I mean, everyone knows the panic when you're doing a stalk and then you accidentally like a photo and it's like, oh no, I have to uninstall Life.
Yeah.
I have to kill myself now. It's the only way out. Yeah, so generally that'd be considered a faux pas.
Well,
so that's
this is what
very
I
forward
did.
move.
This is what I didn't know. So I went to what all good blokes do when they need help with things in terms of girls. I talked to Dago. All right, so I went to, because
That's
I sort
true.
of knew
He's a very untapped
true.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
because I sort of knew that this was a thing. I remember it sort of during high school. Obviously, I never did it during high school because nerd virgin.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing
Coby's
bad.
still living the
just,
life.
Yeah, Coby's living the
Yeah.
life.
I'm
He's
a bachelor.
vibing.
I'm a bachelor
He is
who's
in his little shoebox.
Okay,
room
hold
right
on.
now.
I for quick aside, how do we get Coby on The Bachelor? Or even better, how do we get Coby to be one of the dudes on The Bachelorette?
Oh, the Bachelorette. Please. Could you imagine him walking up to like her?
Okay, Joseph, I'm gonna need you to go and start blowing everyone at Channel 10 until we can get this to happen. Is it even Channel 10? Channel 9?
Channel 9.
Just go ahead and just start blowing.
If the opportunity arose, I
do it.
hate reality TV. I would go on it. I would definitely do that if it was. For
Okay, I'm gonna submit some applications, use my contacts, talk to some people.
Actually, no, we should get Coby on Beauty and the Geek.
Does that
I'm
show
not going on
exist
that show.
anymore?
Yeah,
It
it
was
does.
on.
It does. It was on. And
Okay,
I
I'm submitting
refuse.
you an application.
If they touch my Jufro, I swear to God.
You don't have a Jufro.
The joke is that one of the contestants did.
All right, what part of
Beauty and the Geek jokes. What a vast, like, wide cultural phenomenon and reference everyone's gonna get.
Yeah. Anyway, the topic kind of just fizzled out. Like you didn't let me finish when we were in the pre-show,
talking.
Dan.
We just
But
making jazz.
I didn't understand the concept of like effectively this person is a stranger and going to their Instagram and liking all their like some of their photos from like 2 years ago. For context, I like everybody's photos that show up on my feed. Because I like to think I'm a nice person. And
he's a nice guy. Coby's a nice guy.
No, I'm not a nice guy. I'm a cunt. I joked about somebody's. I even called somebody a homophobe on this one. I sneak dissed them. They're not going to listen to this.
They definitely. I know for a fact they don't listen.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should get them to listen though, so they can hear me call them a homophobe.
No.
Yeah, you'd be into that yourself.
Wait, so what part of the story were we up to?
You were talking about how you went to Duggo because he knows
because he's a sage, a wise sage.
He was well versed in the sort of like Instagram flirting, whatever it's called. And I said, because I remember like it being like if they like your photo from a while ago, what you do is you like theirs back, and then if they like one back again, that's when that's like when and then like you'll pop up to them.
Zoomer mating ritual.
So it's like you're it's just confirming that yes, you do indeed want to talk to you.
Hey, you did this on purpose, yeah.
That's a lot of math you have to do. Somebody likes one photo. Then you have to like one photo,
and then
that does sound very high school. You're right.
That is it is. And then so from that I sort of I popped up, and it's all history now.
Fuck it out.
And so I've just got a like on a post, and
speak of the devil, and they shall appear.
Is it so?
And I just got to go through and I think everyone's already liked. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say Noah's in the live chat. he's getting horny.
Oh, wait, there's a couple.
Back to Beauty and the Geek. Okay, so this application forms. I'm applying Coby. This application form's amazing. Applying as Beauty Geek. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slap down Geek and Coby. You're not gonna get an email. I'm gonna send it to my email. As your agent, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if you're successful for the show. I wonder if I'm gonna have to send headshots.
I reckon. I have a feeling he would actually get it.
Yeah, because you're like in the age demographic. You have like the weird band thing. Your Twitch stream.
No, he's way too. Kobe's way too confident.
You just ooze virginity. Yeah, so it's all
That's
happening.
untrue.
It's Beauty and the Geek 2 is going to be the name of the season. It's like a relaunch.
They go to Forever After Land and
Electric Boogaloo.
I think that's the one where the donkey fucks the dragon.
Which one's that? The first or the second one?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
Coby, you're going to be a star.
I'm going to be a star.
Just be careful of Harvey Weinstein.
No, he's in prison. Is he in prison?
If he invites you to his room, just like say no.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want. I'll become the biggest star, even if it means.
What's the name of the other Weinstein? I feel like he kind of got away with it scot-free.
Ben and Harvey.
Because there's no way that
Harvey and Jared.
No, that's Jared Fogle.
The other Weinstein
Jared Fogle
is what I'm going to Google. Bob.
Jared Fogle.
He was absolutely like. Robert, yeah. There was no way that it was only Harvey, right? They were both pieces of shit, surely.
You could not have known. Like, I don't know what Coby does.
Yeah, like George Pell didn't know.
I don't know what Coby does to the interns.
We have interns?
Well, I mean,
don't act like you don't know.
They're your interns. You're the one who keeps like, hey Dan, get me interns.
Yeah, they keep disappearing for some reason.
Yeah, we know where they're going.
Where are they going, Dan?
Your basement, Coby.
I don't have a basement. Do you know how expensive it is to have a basement in Australia?
That's why we're using the interns to dig the basement. Then you lock them down there and you do whatever you do.
So anyway, as of recording, or as of like since last Wednesday, so about a week ago actually, all of us three here, a thick blood gang.
Yeah, Coby late edition. I feel like you are supposed to be Pfizer gang. You just got thick blood to be cool, but you know, welcome into the gang nonetheless.
Yeah, we allow it.
We'll allow it. I don't like that we were your second choice, but you know, you're just.
We should be the only choice.
Yeah, imagine not having thick blood.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm intrigued. It must suck. How was your day after the shot?
So we discussed Dan's when it was just Dan and I.
I can try to find.
I have to make an amendment to my argument.
Just
when it was Dan and I,
and I'll find the clip.
And Dan said it was rather unceremonious. I didn't necessarily. I thought he was being absurd in the way of you know, it's a vaccination. Okay. Of course, it's not going to be like ceremonious.
So here's the exact clip. Let me just quickly set the audio up. Pressing this button. Hey, wow! Would you look at that? The Slalt Cast Twitter. You guys should go and follow that. It'd be fucking cool if you did. So here's the clip.
God, have a look out.
Fucking thin I was. Nurse and you'll get the shot. And I was like, surprisingly short preamble. I sit down. The nurse was like, left or right arm. I was like, which do you recommend? And she's like, well, are you left or right-handed? And I was like, I'm right-handed. She goes, I'm going for the left arm. Yep. Legit. She's like, all right.
The left arm.
All right, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that was no ceremony for the fucking, like, the vax to end.
What do you think they were going to do? Bring you out a fucking trophy?
It felt weird how little preamble there was to like.
Dan, it's a doctor, not the Olympics.
Coby, it was the past 18 months have been like gripped with an iron fist by this virus.
You're a doctor.
But they didn't even be like, are you sure? You know there's clots. You know there's clots. And he's like, So
sorry.
that was the original clip. Thanks Twitter video for making the quality shit. But Coby roasted me.
Well,
I didn't necessarily roast you.
That's the same as how mine went though as well. Like literally, they're like, so you know all about the side effects, whatever. do you care? I'm like, not really. He goes, well, it's like a 1 in a million chance. So, and then they just jab me. I'm like, well, I don't know if I consented yet, but let's go. And that was good.
Yeah. So I need to apologize. Because I didn't realize Dan wasn't exaggerating how lifeless the experience was.
They really just like pushing.
They really just had me there. She was like, "All right, fill out this form and whatever."
And the form was
Take
an
it to the
application
back.
to the Beauty and the Geek, and you thought that was a bit weird,
Yeah.
but you filled it out
Really
anyway.
weird.
It's like, why do I have to write Beauty or Geek on this?
And then I went in. I didn't even go to a doctor. I went to a pharmacy that were giving it out. I booked and then had my shot the same day. So I booked like 2.5 hours before I went.
Yeah, a lot of the boys have been getting like super quick turnarounds lately. I know I had to book like a month in advance. Joseph's was even further.
Yeah. Because we booked like the day of.
Didn't like Dugan get his a couple days after he booked? Like he had to just had to like bring him back up and say, hey, what's happening? And they're like, yeah, come in. It's good that the vaccine rollout's quickened a bit.
I think because people have started actually uptaking Astra and like they've all been getting it and they realize that, we can do this in 2 seconds. Just book more appointments and get everyone in.
Yeah.
So I went in. The doctor there was like, any questions? And I said, I'm on this medication. And she's like, no, that's fine. That's all good. And I'm like, all right, let's fucking do this. I'm ready. So then she hit me, slapped me right across the face. Very strange interaction. But then she stuck the needle in me. And then she took that one out and said,
you went to a pharmacy?
That's the heroin. Now here comes the Astra. And then she hit me with the Astra in my left arm. Now, for those that don't know, this is very private information, but I have a health condition concerning my brain. I don't know if we've talked about it. I don't want to get into specifics.
We've definitely talked about it.
The reason I was waiting for Pfizer was because I had been told that my recommended one should be Pfizer, if I'm worried. And I thought maybe. So that's why I waited a little bit.
Well, you actually had the chance to book in Pfizer and then you didn't.
Because I got anxious because I didn't ask before that. And then I was fairly lazy. Anyway, so I got it.
I'm interested in what your day after the shot was like, because I know I got fucking put on my ass the day after I got it. I know, Joseph, you had a similar experience.
Oh, yeah, the night of, because I know you got yours in the afternoon. I got mine like in the morning.
I got mine like midday. So it was going to sleep, I started feeling it, and I woke up and I just wanted to fucking die.
I see, like, I got it like 8 a.m. in the morning, so by the nighttime, I was like dead. I played a game of Rocket League with Noah and I think Cameron, and then I literally like just started shaking as like holding the controller. I'm like, oh no, and then
our friend Cypec, he got his like yesterday or the day before, and he messaged me. I was like, I'm just fucking shaking, dude. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, boys, I wasn't aware that you'd be shaking. I got mine at 3:45 in the afternoon.
We all said it.
I probably didn't read it, the group chat, when it was said. So at 2 in the morning, I wake up. This is, not even 12 hours after. And I'm having like repeated muscle spasms in different places all over my body. Really also weird. My cock was like 5 inches longer than it was normally.
Oh, you hit 6 inches.
5 inches.
I was going to give you one to start
very
off
generous,
with.
Dan.
I was like, oh no. So I didn't panic, but I thought, and they told me that the blood, like if blood clots were to occur, it would happen 4 to 30 days like after the shot.
Yeah, the doctor did mention that while he was jabbing me and pushing me out the door.
Yeah. As she was pushing the heroin in, she was like, yeah, this one will fuck you up very quickly, but this one will fuck you up in 4 to 30 days. So I thought, wow, what a come up. Then as I was laying in bed, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm panicking because I'm a massive hypochondriac.
At the disco?
Dun dun dun.
Shut up.
I'm a massive hypochondriac. Yeah. I don't have my soundboard hooked up. So I was getting fairly worried, like, oh no, I don't want to be the guy to not call the hospital and be like go to the hospital and fucking die. So I called my mum, who was sleeping, and I said, "Hey, mum, I'm fucking shaking like badly." Now, I want you to imagine that the description I gave to Joseph was imagine Dugan, our good friend Dugan, pouring a glass of orange juice and just him holding the carton of orange juice. Now, picture that, but sporadic in different places of the body, like with very short bursts. I was panicking
just
a little.
the post Astra shakes that everyone got.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Again, I wouldn't panic if I wasn't aware of it. If I was aware of it, sorry.
But like the fact that like I didn't spasm. I was just like shaking.
This
So maybe if it was a spasm, then I'd.
It felt like it was a muscle spasm. Like it was. It's very hard to describe, but you know that video of Michael Reeves where he's hooking up the electrodes to force himself to dab? Dan, you've seen that video, yeah?
No.
Yeah, it's like my muscles were doing that. They were like contracting involuntarily. Like it was.
Oh, okay. Then
It
maybe,
wasn't just shaking, right?
Okay.
I mean, you could argue that involuntary shaking is involuntary muscle spasm. That's literally what it is.
Well, of course, but
You
again,
dumb bitch.
I wasn't going to be the person to not seek medical
But
attention.
it'd be
and
so
fucking
funny
die.
if it was you. Like, it's kind of sucked for a little. But think about the podcast episode after. We'd get hella views.
Could you imagine
I could
if
milk
out
you
of,
for the
out of
thumbnail.
everyone, out of
It was me
everyone,
that
it was
died.
Coby that got like the blood clot.
It
Not
would
even
be-
died, but got the blood
Like, it
clot.
wouldn't be surprising.
No,
at
I'd
least.
be like, yeah.
And
that
like,
makes sense.
that'd be like you look up and be like, come on, God, the writing's getting a little lazy this season.
It's like you literally are our very own Neville Longbottom.
Well, he
It's
was the
always
chosen
you.
one if
His
Harry
parents
wasn't
got tortured
alive,
by
though.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
God, I wish that was...
More like, why is it always me?
Yeah, I know.
No, because
I know,
Neville
right?
got hot at the end of number 7.
That is true. I did forget about that.
Coby was just born hot.
Ah, good turnaround. Good.
Yeah, I felt like we kind of been
Good
slamming
save.
you a little this episode, so I thought I'd give you one.
So anyway,
Just know it's
we
a
got
face
to-
value thing. That's why we're putting you on Beauty and the Geek.
God, there have been some bangers on this episode. Let me tell you.
Baby. Like 3 people are laughing right now, dude, and all 3 of them are in this call.
Oh,
So mum takes me to the emergency department, and we
Emergency
we
room,
check
you
in
psychopath. Why are you calling it emergency department?
because people kept calling it the ED.
No, that's erectile
that's
dysfunction. They were
erectile
telling you that
dysfunction.
your
Yeah, I
dick
know.
doesn't work.
Fuck. So we went to the emergency room at 2:45. We checked in at 2:45. Anyway, it was fairly good. I just want to talk about the emergency room experience at 2:45 in the morning.
it's a weird place at that time, eh?
It is a weird place at that time, and I went to Liverpool Hospital, which doesn't have a fantastic reputation, but it does save lives, so it's pretty cool that it does that. I was in the emergency room earlier this year to get my foot x-rayed and looked at.
That's right. That happened this year.
Yeah, that happened this year. That was remarkably quick for a busy morning, like kind of out of COVID, and that went over quick.
I mean, like for context, Coby broke his foot at a gig where he was performing on stage to like a half full venue. Like that's how out of COVID we were.
Yeah.
Like
and-
minusculely.
Yeah, and it was quite busy that day, but I think I was in and out within about 2.5 hours, right? Which is long, but it's long because free healthcare, wait times and such and whatever. So who cares? We checked in at 2:45, and as we walked in, the Olympics were still on. So I was like, fucking sweet. This is fucking amazing. I love life. The Olympics will be on here. I can just sit back and watch this for 2 hours. The Olympics finish at 3 a.m. And can you guess what was on? Can you guess what was on Channel 7 at 3 a.m?
That's ABC. I'm sorry.
Sunrise.
No, at 3 a.m.
You didn't even get to see Koshi?
I know, I got to see Koshi. That's how long we were
Good.
there. But 3 a.m. Guess what's on Channel 7? You'll never guess.
Is it porn?
It's
that's
infomercials.
Oh, how many things did you give Blake's phone number to?
How many did you give?
I can't believe you sat there and watched infomercials for that long.
All right,
and didn't even give one of the boys' phone numbers to screwdrivers.
I say infomercials, but it was one product, one ad.
Slap chop?
On a 5-minute loop.
Come ahead, slap my nuts.
For 30 minutes.
And what was the product?
And I sat there, it was like the...
You must be a fucking expert on it.
I had a massive headache at the time.
Oh,
it was effectively... I forgot what it was called, but it was effectively like a car buffer. You know how you buff your car? Like they have like those big ones. Yeah, but it was like a tiny one, and they were like, it can fix like scratches on your car. It can do this. And like the clips of it, like getting rid of scratches were like clearly in reverse. It killed me. The entire half hour I watched. And can you guess after that half hour what was on next, Daniel?
Thunderbirds. That's
was it the same thing again?
Another fucking infomercial.
Yeah, you didn't sign. Okay, so for context, for any of you listeners, we went last year, kind of like in the downtime of COVID when we were hitting the donut days. We went on like a boys' weekend away. We Airbnb'd a house down the coast, and we just went there for the weekend and we chilled. And while we were there, for whatever reason, we were just drunk as shit, and we were watching like daytime TV, daytime free-to-air TV. And an infomercial for these like fucking drill bits came on. And we were all drunk and we thought it was the funniest thing ever. So I called them up and I gave them our mate's phone number. And for like the next like 3 to 4 weeks, he was just getting calls like 10 times a day from this service. And straight up was just like, fuck off.
Do you remember he kept blocking every time the new number?
Just a new number would come every time.
See,
so we have a great history of giving our mate Blake's phone number to infomercials. I can't believe you didn't keep this up.
The thought crossed my mind, but I was so like that. For added context, when the nurse first pulled me in, right, which was like after that first, pulled me in to see me, to take my blood pressure and stuff. She asked, "Oh, how are you feeling?" As soon as I was out of the waiting room where there was no TV, my headache went from on a pain scale, went from like a solid 8.5 to a 6, right? That's how drastic it was because the infomercial was playing, right? I noticed it. Anyway, we checked in at 2:45. I want you both. I think I've already told you what.
The reason that you had to wait for so fucking long is because
it was early in the morning.
Well, no, because they identified it. They're like muscle spasms, not super high priority. We'll get like other gaping chest wound can come first.
Yeah, of course, right. It was Liverpool, so things happen at 3 o'clock in the morning, I assume. But no. So we ended up leaving at 7:15 in the morning. My mum stayed the entire time. She's a trooper. Shout out to Michelle.
Shout out to Michelle.
She's a Banff. I bought we got Macca's, but I bought it as a thank you. It's one of those mother-son moments you have where like you pay for the McDonald's.
You're so generous.
No, Blake's the generous one. So yeah, that was my ER visit. I was knocked on my ass for 2 days.
Damn, you a bitch.
Yeah.
I went to work the next day. Yes, I got sent home early, but I went to work the next day.
I don't even know. I don't even know how. Like the next day, I wasn't as bad, but I was still pretty dead.
Now that my second shot's approaching, I'm like legitimately nervous because everyone says the second shot's worse. So I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Yes, I've heard that.
So bad.
When's your second shot?
It's like the first week of September, I think.
So mine's basically in like a month.
I mean, I think it might be a month to today. So it's second week of September. But anyway, it's coming up. And I'm excited to be double vaxxed. But it looks like, considering we got fucking 344 cases or whatever today, that our state's not going to be out of lockdown by the time I'm double vaxxed.
Yeah, that's same. Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully we get some level of like restrictions easing for double vaxxed up people.
Yeah.
Well, at construction, so my dad's having to deal with a lot of people. So my dad's a very sort of straight talker. You know, get vaxxed, don't be a cockhead.
Smart.
And so someone called him up today and was like, "Look, mate, we've got a problem. None of me boys want to get vaccinated." And Dad goes, "Oh well, we're just going to have to find another group of people to give the work to." And then he was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, this is government mandated. I'm not doing like I'm vaccinated. We're all vaccinated. You have to get them vaxxed, otherwise you're not getting. Otherwise you're never working construction." And the girl's like, "Oh," and Dad's like, "What do you like? Seriously? If you ever want to work construction, you're gonna have to get vaccinated." Which it's all gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it only makes
astounding.
sense, like because like as much as like we should have locked down sooner. Everyone has their thoughts on the lockdown. No one can argue the fact that being locked down for an extended period like this is bad for the economy. And if the vaccine is like a way to get industries moving again, like then yeah, it's going to be a necessity to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, see, it's funny because I'll admit it. At the start of that sort of first case came out, I was like, "Oh, don't lock us down, blah blah blah. Just leave it. You know, it's going to be like." You remember Barbecue Man where he went around around Sydney and was fine, and then so I had to eat my words there. Age like milk.
Age like milk.
But yeah, I just think the government they did not expect the underestimated.
I think they were fairly confident with with that first lockdown with the Barbecue Man. I think they got overly confident.
We didn't go into lockdown.
It was just like limited areas.
It wasn't lockdown. There was restrictions and stuff like that. But like with this case,
and it was done in a week.
Yeah, with this case, it was fairly like
it spiraled. I guess it's like it was a matter of like complacency from like a lot of different parties, and it fucked us over. This is three dudes that are involved in politics talk about how they could run the state better. Welcome back.
Let me get into my political mode.
Yeah.
All right.
What are your thoughts about homophobia?
That one homophobic friend probably not a good move from them. I still anyway. That's not like a podcast topic because we won't be able to name the person. But we had a big week of streams last week, boys.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We had a huge week of streams. We had the Back for Blood stuff that was all sponsored by WB, so we're basically famous now. I'm a sellout. Any brand who wants me, my price is low. I'll be a shill. But more excitingly, last Wednesday would have been a week ago. Me and Caden did the Destiny charity stream right here on twitch.tv/Slalt Cast. And we're not going to harp on this for ages, but the community here, we raised $2,600 for the Starlight Foundation, us and a couple other Destiny streamers who were playing. So that was fucking huge. I didn't do a great job of letting everyone know ahead of time on the socials, but there definitely will be another one, and hopefully I'll have a bit more notice. So I'll be able to let you all know. We can all get in, raise some more money for some great foundations. Yeah,
could I just get Caden's words on that too? Caden?
Caden was not able to be present tonight because his state is out of lockdown. The bastard.
I was kind of hoping just for elongated silence there, Dan.
See, pregnant pauses are bad for podcasts.
Yeah, but there was a comedic moment.
A pregnant pause.
It's when a pause takes 9 months and then a baby.
Yeah. Don't you know how pregnancy works, Joseph?
Well, it doesn't know how pre-com works.
That is true.
The chat's calling for us to sponsor your facial hair growth, Coby.
I shaved yesterday. It hurts when I rub my chin. Because the hairs are so
3
short.
follicles.
There's more than 3.
But in other news, we had the return of a king this week. One of the greats back from a 6-year slumber. Chicken and a Biscuit has returned to supermarket shelves. Apparently there was like some like petition and shit. Like a TikTok popped off and everyone was like, yeah, fucking bring it back, cunt. And then Woolies were like, I guess like the Chicken and a Biscuit Corporation. I don't know who makes them. But like, yeah, rightio. And then it's in a partnership with Woolies. The chicken and a biscuit snack has come back.
Oh, snack's back.
The snack is back. I feel like chicken and a biscuit was like a fever dream.
I love chicken.
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even realize it was gone.
Really? I feel like it was like a thing. There was chicken and a biscuit everywhere, and then it went away, and there was no word of it. And I felt like I was being gaslit from one of my favorite delectable treats. So it's good to know that
it was never there. You're an idiot.
Chicken and a biscuit. What the fuck?
Yeah,
okay, Blue Spins in our live chat is saying that was shit. That's just blasphemy against our Lord.
You should ban him. I don't know who that is, but ban them.
Yeah, Spins. We can't be having speak. I fucking love chicken and biscuit, dude. I remember I could just pump a whole box of those when I was like fucking 10.
Oh yeah, I would smash them. Seriously.
No, they were good.
If you don't like chicken and biscuit, you're not my friend.
But what if I wanted a biscuit and a chicken?
Oh fuck!
You can do that on. You can get a chicken and a biscuit and put it in chicken. That's a chicken and a chicken and chicken and a biscuit and a chicken.
Mm.
And then,
if I wanted to put a phone number in it,
what the fuck?
Would it be 1300-6550506?
I was gonna say if you wanted to put a chicken in a biscuit and a chicken in a biscuit, you could get like an Oreo and it'd be a chicken and a biscuit and a chicken and a biscuit.
What if I wanted to put a chicken in a duck in a turkey?
So it's a duck and it already exists. I feel like we talked about this either the last pod or definitely on a stream in the last 2 weeks.
Did we?
What if we put something in Coby?
Or
that'd be pretty cool. But where I wanted to go with this is, are there any other like snacks or anything that you would like to come back?
Potato faces.
I haven't thought about potato faces in so fucking long. Holy shit. Do you want to inform the listeners who may not be familiar with what a potato face was?
Joseph?
I don't know how to describe. It's a face in a potato
face.
It was just like a variant of
were they
chips.
crumbed or were they just like?
No, it was just like a fucking potato in a fun shape.
Yeah,
it was in a circle, then had 2 holes, and then a smiley face.
What did you do to those holes, Joseph?
Nothing.
Is that why you want them to come back?
It's too small.
I feel like they have to still exist in some form. It might just not be like the
mechanic
that we want. I don't think they do.
I want to come back. What was the fucking? Do Lunchables still exist? The one with the gorilla on them?
No,
I don't know.
Like the Yogos. They still exist.
Yogos.
They still exist.
Oh, do they? Oh, fuck. I don't know. I don't eat many snack foods.
Remember when they tried to take shapes away? What a fucking marketing maneuver that was.
Yeah, that was genius.
I've never seen the
I went out and bought so many barbecue and pizza shapes. It wasn't funny. I demanded to my mother that she went and bought
like, stock up
enough. Yeah, that she stocked up.
I never thought I had prepper vibes. I was not
eating that shit.
That was so because it was like everybody came to fucking school the same day with the new shapes, a new frontier, and everyone. Literally. It was just like the nation has never been so like all together on one thing.
But you know what's funny? I actually didn't mind the new shapes. I just still wanted to have the old shapes in the little packets.
Yeah, the new ones were like my hatred for the new shapes came simply because they tried to take away the old ones. Like they could happily coexist, and they are happily coexisting at the moment. It's just like
I have never seen a new packet. Anywhere.
Oh, they still exist because I used to work at a grocery store. The order would be like we'd have like 4 facings of regular barbecue and 1 facing of the new barbecue, but they still exist.
Do people buy them?
I mean, yeah, shit like that always moves at supermarkets.
They more tasted like Crusket, was it called? Or what are they called? The
a Crusket was like a fucking rusk.
Oh, I don't know, but they tasted more like a different. They didn't taste like shapes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean they didn't because like
you
think of shapes, you think chicken crimpy, you think the fucking pizza ones, you think the barbecue ones, and then like we dance with cheese and bacon and cheddar. Like they're like.
I don't like cheese and bacon.
I rate them. I fucking love them.
Cheese and bacon, they're like it's like Panadol. You can have 1 box.
It's like Caden.
And then it's like it's like you can have a handful and then go, that's it. But they're the only thing at the table, so I go, I'll have some more. No one said there'd be cheese and bacon.
I could eat like a whole packet. If someone gave me like a kilo or more of chicken crimpies, I would sit there for an entire day, not move, watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and chicken crimpies.
I mean, that might be one of like the I mean, there's not one of the, I'm a fat guy. It's not one of the few foods, but that's a food I could definitely just like eat to the point where I make myself throw up, and then keep eating them. Like,
yeah.
Like, I better wash the vomit out of my mouth with some more chicken crimpy.
Because there's no, they're so alkaline.
Yeah.
That they're not.
Wow, you got scientific on it.
The vomit would just be.
It's a soft vomit. It's not a too aggressive vomit.
It's just more chicken crimpy to enjoy.
What's the hardest vomit you've ever had?
I mean, they could probably put it on the box. It's good going both ways.
Have you ever had chicken crimpy shit?
And
shape swing both ways.
My hardest vomit was on Joseph's floor. We've covered that on this podcast.
Have we covered that?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it was one of the first episodes. To quickly rehash the story, my birthday is the 14th of December. Joseph's birthday is the 15th of December. On our 18th birthday, we'd had like a day-long bender where the boys started at mine, and there was a party at Joseph's in the evening. And I didn't drink before I was 18 at all because strict parents. But so it was like my first time getting fucking sloshed, and I have to say I did very good for my first time getting sloshed. I had like the number was over 20.
No, you vomited, so you didn't.
The number was over 20 before I got to the point where then yes, I was like a zombie and I vomited over Joseph's floor.
Yeah.
And then I had work the next day.
Yeah,
that was one of the all-time greats.
Anyway,
what was yours, Coby? We moved on from chicken crimpy very quick.
Yeah, we did. Well, Dan said hard vomit, and I thought that's a good pivot. I don't think I've ever like vomited after a night out. Probably the only time I have vomited.
You never go hard enough.
No, the only time I have ever gone hard enough is like in two situations. Whenever our friend Rachel has a party at her place, I always end up being sick.
There is that one party that, I mean, that might be my second. Rachel's 18th might be my second hardest vomit. Because that was the weekend of RTX. We were drinking at the day during the convention, and then we went from the convention to the pub and drank more, and we went from the convention to the party where there was provided alcohol and drunk even more. I managed to survive the whole night. Don't remember any of it. There's photos of me. I don't remember anything. And then Noah got his parents to give us a lift home, and Noah's parents have very nice cars, and so I was like, "Oh, is your dad bringing the Beamer?" And he's like, yeah, he's bringing the Beamer. So I just like it was like in Halo Reach, it was like current objective survive. I just remember just trying to like contain myself in the car ride home. And I got home and like painted my bathroom.
I think the hardest one was when we were down in Narrawali and I had a tack bomb when we were playing Rage Cage with the cruisers. That was probably the hardest.
See, I like went
all
hard
vomited that night.
But my hardest one, the worst one, was so at my cousin's wedding. So not knowing what time it is, me and one of my cousin's friends, we went to the bar and we just started doing shots. So me and her just we had like 7 or 8 shots of. So it was limoncello, which is usually not that like strong, but this shit was petrol because it was homemade.
Yeah, good innings.
And so we did these shots, and then literally it was like next minute was like, oh, we're going. I was like, no. And then so we had to get on a bus because it was out in Ballina, or not Ballina, Southern Highlands. And then so we all had to get basically dropped off at where we were staying.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the bus, and then so I get car sick, not much anymore, but like if like I'm unwell, it makes it worse.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was sitting there, and I had to do and the bus was doing this.
And
just going really fast. So it was going side to side. And then someone vomited at the back, and it was like a red wine vomit. So that thing was it just stunk the whole bus. And then I went to the bus driver. I'm like, I need to vomit, please. You got to stop. And it was on like this one-way country road, and like and trees on each side, like nowhere to pull over. And she's like,
it was so country road that John Denver's plane soared over at the top and slammed into the side of the mountain. R.I.P.
R.I.P. And then I was like, oh, you got to get me a bucket or something. And she's like, there's nothing here. And I was like, oh, come on, man.
We're not going to make it.
We're not going to make it. And then I could hear everyone talking like, please don't throw up. And then I did the thing where I was like, oh, nah. And then it just started coming out. I put my hand over my mouth, and then I vomited, and then I tried to hold it and I tried to swallow it back in, but then that just made me vomit
that
more.
Really is like a instinctual move to cover it and try like suppress it. It's like the second barrier breaches your lips, you can like sometimes
Yeah,
catch
literally.
it and like
And
again
then-
contain the damage. I'll
that
give you a
made it
hint. That doesn't
worse.
work with a beard.
No, it doesn't. No,
Well,
but-
sometimes it doesn't work without a beard.
Yeah, I know, but it's a 0% success rate with the beard. There's too many
But that,
air gaps.
it made it worse because putting my hand over it made it like just drip down my shirt.
Oh,
like,
no!
on my suit
I mean, that's a
and on my-
risky run. If you don't make a tight enough seal, or if there's too much
No,
force
no.
and pressure,
So-
it seeps
and then
out
so-
and shotguns out.
Literally. And then I was like, fuck it. I let it go and just all down the like the bus. It was like on my shoes. My nunnas were there crying because I thought I was gonna die. My nunna was just sitting there laughing. They had to put me in the shower when I got back because I couldn't walk.
Nice.
And literally I woke up, I had a Panadol and I was fine.
You got the demons out. If you hadn't
literally.
vomited, you would have been so bad the next day. But like, yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
emptied
so I
your system.
vomited. I woke up and then like I still wasn't good. Like I was having like butter and toast for brekkie. Like everyone's having these mad feeds. I'm sitting there with sunnies on, butter and
I
toast.
rate butter and toast for brekkie. Don't talk shit about it.
It's so
One of
good,
my
Have you ever
favourites.
had ham and cheese on toast? Oh, that's a vibe.
What do you mean? Of course.
I mean, like you just like said a well, except that's like saying, oh, you ever had a fucking sausage roll?
I
they're
feel as
good.
though ham and cheese on toast is
It's a fucking
It
cheese
feels-
toasty with ham. Like that's
no, but
you just taken off one bit of bread.
Just one
You've
slice,
just
it's
adjusted the
one slice
ratio a
of toasted
little.
bread with butter on it, and then you put one slice of cheese and one slice of ham, and then one slice of cheese, and then you just eat it cold like that. I mean, the toast is warm, but
DIY half yumbo.
yeah,
Shut up.
The yumbo is back.
the yumbo,
Where did it go?
Just disgusting.
yumbo. Crazy,
want to talk-
crazy
do you
how
want
we
to talk about
exhaust. What?
I was going to say, do you want to talk about the Olympics?
I haven't watched any
No.
of it. If I'm being
Yeah,
100%
I haven't.
honest.
I've only watched the
There was the
soccer.
beds that they couldn't fuck on, but it turns out that wasn't the reason.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
And there's
But-
that one Australian diver with a lisp that's always on my TikTok. But other than that, I haven't watched any of the Olympics.
Yeah, I
Really?
only
There's a bit of
I only
lockdown.
watched the soccer.
Yeah, I know,
I
but
know.
I started a new job as work from home. I've been busy.
You've got
Yeah, so
4
I'm-
monitors, dude.
I have
I work
two.
from home and I still don't. Well, I still,
Yeah,
I
you still
was
don't
watching
work.
it. I still don't
If
work.
anyone's wondering why their COVID relief claim hasn't gone through, it's because Joseph's been
No,
watching the
They,
Olympics.
they literally took me off all of that. I don't know. It like wasn't obviously because of performance, but so I've been doing all like the family shit. So I've literally not touched COVID stuff in ages. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I hate doing it. So 'cause
I know
sucks.
myself and Joseph have, but have you watched the Suicide Squad yet, Coby?
No, I haven't.
Okay, let's give it. Do you want to give just your like spoiler-free top level thoughts?
Oh, but you
Joseph?
yeah, I'd love to. I thought it's what the first movie should have been. So they basically
agree.
they made the first movie with different characters.
I mean, like they definitely. It wasn't when you think about it. It wasn't an insanely complex plot. It
No,
was
it was
just
the-
like
It was the same plot.
it was a good
ish.
enough excuse. No, it wasn't. The first movie had the Enchantress. You don't remember the first movie if you think it was the same.
It was
plot.
a fever dream. It was a fever dream.
Wait, Enchantress? Oh,
Enchantress.
Yeah, you don't
okay.
remember the
Big
first movie,
laser
but
in the
if you're
sky,
saying
and there
that.
were like zombies. It was very
Arguably,
weird.
first movie extremely overcomplicated, and that's where this movie succeeded. It had like a strong enough but like simple plot that just
Like
kind of
it.
moved the characters around between fun, interesting action
Oh,
set
no.
pieces where
Yeah,
all of the
100%.
actors were perfect for the characters they were playing.
I think John Cena was amazing.
He should get an Academy Award for that performance.
No, you know who should get an Academy Award? James Gunn for making Joel Kinnaman actually a good actor.
Yeah, yep.
And someone that you'd want to
Like,
watch.
I never thought I would care about A. Joel Kinnaman or B. Rick Flag, but like I somehow came out caring about both.
Hey, he was good. He was good in that TV show, that Altered Carbon. He was all right in that.
That's true. He is naked for a lot of that show.
He is pretty naked.
Do you see his wiener?
Yeah,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
that show has a lot of dong.
Carbon.
That
That
show,
show
there
does
was
have a lot
dong,
of dong.
dong alert in Suicide Squad. There was a dong.
Was there?
It was.
There was a dong.
Was there?
full
Was it?
frontal.
Was it King Sharks?
in that very funny scene.
And
And
that's in the trailer. That's not a spoiler.
I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought probably one of the better DCEU
It's the
movies.
best. You can't even argue. It's the best DCEU movie. Man of Steel included. It's the best one.
Snyder Cut.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I take that
Oh,
out
come on,
because
man.
that just exists on its own plane. Nothing else can touch it.
Its own.
It goes Snyder Cut, and then we come down to the regular 1 to 10 scale, and then
No. Then we have Batman v Superman, and then we go even
well,
worse.
Batman v
Then we
Superman
get
extended cut. Come on, don't be an animal.
That's in the same. That's in the same level of Snyder Cut, because apparently Zack Snyder can't make a movie that's less than 5 hours long.
I mean, that's a skill into its own. But yeah, no, I think like fuck it, it was a good showing. It's when DC just lets they get a good director, like a good like auteur director like James Gunn, and they let. I guess not DC. When any studio, you get like an auteur and you let them do their thing, and you don't try to restrict them or like impose or like just get too involved in the creative process. You're gonna get a good result. Like you give. It's happened. James Gunn has managed to nail it. He's 3 from 3 on superhero movies. Where like he went to Marvel, they gave him the sandbox, they gave him these kind of weird side characters, and he made something amazing twice. And then he went to DC. You give him like you get some big names in there. You have like Harley Quinn. But also then just a mismatch of weird side villains, and he's made something arguably even more amazing than some stuff in Guardians. Like,
I would agree. Yeah,
I
still think Guardians is better overall. The first one, but
here's a hot take: Guardians 2 way better than the first Guardians.
Incorrect.
I agree with Dan.
Though you need to watch them both again.
Yeah,
maybe.
There's so much. Everyone has so much reverence for the first Guardians.
I do like the style of Suicide Squad. More than Guardians, though.
Extremely gory.
But like, I don't know, I feel like Marvel movies have the aesthetic.
It's a cliche.
I don't like it.
Well, Guardians defined the Marvel aesthetic. If you go back and you look, that Marvel aesthetic that you're thinking of really started with the first Guardians. It's like the Marvel space aesthetic that slowly bled into everything else. James Gunn was the one who like started that style for the MCU. Because if you think of
maybe just because I've seen it for like so much, that I'm kind of just out. Whereas I feel like Suicide Squad was its own sort of.
Well, I think the
Suicide Squad was cool. The perfect thing. It was like DC gritty but fun but not felt weird. Like it felt grounded. Kind of like Shazam. Crazy. Yeah, a little bit like Shazam.
It was like Shazam, but not for kids.
I feel as though the benefit with DC in comparison to the MCU is that DC doesn't have necessarily like a connected universe. So like being able to,
it's just loosely like,
well, you know what I mean. It's like barely connected. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of Marvel phase one of everything. But
not even you could say that these movies, aside from the Snyder ones, like have nothing to do with each other. Which, admittedly, the Snyder ones make up 3/8 of, the majority, right? But it's that thing where you can just give a director characters and be like, "Hey, do whatever the fuck you want." There is no universe
side
here.
Characters like those.
Yeah, you can just say you do whatever the fuck you want. There's no story here. Whereas with Marvel at this point, they've got it planned out for the next.
They have to.
But that has its own strengths.
But
like
that has, I'm not denying that it has its own strengths. But
if you give Taika Waititi like a start point and an end point, and like don't fuck up some stuff, but like you can do whatever you want in the middle. You do that with like Taika Waititi or James Gunn, they're gonna make a fantastic movie. Like we've seen it, we're gonna see it again.
I mean,
Marvel does a better job of picking their directors.
I like Thor Ragnarok, but at the same time, Thor Ragnarok ends up like not mattering that much because everything that Taika Waititi did with the character, which is like was all undone in the next next movie.
Yeah, but that's
that movie was about.
But that's the thing with connected movies. Like,
yeah,
a movie you have character development, and then the next movie will develop them differently. Like, that's the way. I mean, it works.
Like, it's an arc. Well, no, because I think if Ragnarok was about Thor coming into touch with who he is as the God of Thunder, and he's not just the hammer. It was about redeeming Loki, so that spoilers for Infinity War, the second, like the third highest grossing movie of all time. It's redeeming Loki and like finishing that arc, so that his death is more impactful.
But then he comes back,
and it was about like maneuvering the Asgard story with where it like needed to be. Which it did it tactfully, like it didn't feel ham-fisted in that movie.
I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm just saying.
But you said it wasn't consequential, and it was, and then everything that happened carried forward.
I think if you put Thor Ragnarok in a vacuum and you gave Taika Waititi the same characters, just without a start and end point, it could have ended up being a
But then it's probably not Thor Ragnarok.
Well, then it wouldn't be Thor. It'd be a different movie. You're just saying if Taika Waititi made a different movie, it would be better or worse. Like.
Well, but what I'm saying is like there's no limitations for the DCEU yet.
I feel like the whole problem with DC is there's been so many limitations, and this movie they finally took some of them off and just let James Gunn do his thing, and like a good movie came out of it. So it,
Well,
so,
yeah, because
so,
it was so sandbox. Like literally, they gave him the sandbox. Like,
and which is what you need for a movie like Suicide Squad, because like it's
Well, that's what it is.
light spoilers,
That's what
but
it is.
obviously characters die. And it's
Yeah.
not like the first one where like Rope Man dies and then no one else.
Slipknot. That was.
Slipknot.
The man who can climb
I
anything.
can hang myself in any rope.
I'll never forget just like watching him at all like the car stuff, and he's like the most excited. And then I'm like, oh, he's probably got a real massive part of the movie.
That it was
scenes.
fucking El
He's
Diablo.
exploded. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was a person in there. Calendar Man.
I mean, you've just said the name of a character. He's like an Easter egg,
I
but there was a
love-
lot of
I love
Easter eggs in
Calendar
it, which
Man.
was cool.
Wait, when's the
Anyway.
Easter egg in it? Did I miss
In the
it?
prison.
I don't
in the
want
walkthrough of
to.
the
I
prison.
still haven't seen it.
But yes, if you
Oh,
are
actually,
able
good,
to
yeah.
go to a cinema and see it safely, go do that. Highly recommend. If you can't and you're in the US, HBO Max. If you're in Australia, you can get a VPN and get it through HBO Max. And there's no other ways to get it.
No, apparently you can get it here
I'm
in
winking.
Australia on a very obscure. I know my mum's partner saw it on a streaming service.
HBO Max on a VPN.
The part. Hey.
Wow.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
just had
That was a
cough.
weird cough.
Crazy. That
Yeah.
was a weird cough.
I'm
Anyway,
excited for
Dan,
Batman.
do you
Sorry,
have an
I was supposed
announcement?
Oh,
Do
Okay,
I
mate.
have,
Go
do
fuck
I have an
myself.
announcement to make?
Do you have a big announcement, or is
Yeah.
that for later?
Do I have an announcement?
Do you have an announcement?
I don't think I have an
What are you
announcement.
talking about?
I thought Dan had an announcement.
What was
Can I
gonna
talk about
announce?
Batman?
No,
DM
you
me
can't
what
talk
you
about
think the
Batman.
announcement was. No, you can
Oh,
talk about
damn it.
Batman for a little bit.
Oh yeah, how
How's-
good's Batman gonna
Fuck
be?
it, if that
Has anyone
movie's
else been
bad,
watching
I'll
the
be
trailer?
so upset.
Has anyone else just like been constantly watching the trailer? Because like,
I guess that is kind of an announcement. Yeah, I forgot to do that actually. Kobe's right. The
go.
salty.com's back.
Slotty.com.
Salty.com's back. Soft relaunch. The page is loading. It's
You would be soft.
We have more products. We have a hat finally. We got long
those
sleeves
undies?
and no, it's a mask.
Oh.
We have the shirt you know and love, and then we also put on a long sleeve and a hoodie. I got a hat. We have women's shirts for like Techno Daisy. I know sometimes she watches our stuff. You don't have to buy anything. We got a mask and socks and like stickers and shit. If you, I've got a bunch of these coming, and I'm just gonna stick them in my pockets. And if you see me and you're like, hey, give me a sticker, and I'm like, no, go fuck yourself.
Hey, can you just show me the header for a second?
Yeah, I made sure you were cropped out. I
I
ensured.
took that photo. That
No, you
was the
didn't.
photo.
That's you, right in the right.
No,
You
like
can
it
see
was
'cause
on
you
my
got this
phone. It
shitty
was on my
flex jacket.
phone.
Oh yeah, but you didn't take it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You got
I
the shitty-
did.
you got
I
the shitty
went,
flex jacket
pressed the
on.
button, and then how dare you crop me out of that?
you were
Dan's
cropped.
cutting,
You were
Dan has
cropped out.
literally cut
You
me
were
out.
cropped out on the old store, so I thought I had to do it again.
Dan has cut me out.
But yes,
very
I'm
literally.
particularly excited about the hat. The hat is something that well, at least I've been wanting to do for fucking forever. So it's a fucking process apparently to get an embroidered hat approved. But here you go, Slalt Cast embroidered dad hat with the shaker. Head over to salty.com now and buy it. And we also have socks. They're pretty cool too. The socks are called toe warmers because I thought I was funny when I was writing the product descriptions.
I can't believe Dan
This is
forgot
one
about the
idea.
soft relaunch and didn't make a big thing about
Well,
it. Hey,
because
Dan,
the
you want an
relaunch
ad?
was only soft, and now you've made it
Well,
hard.
Dan's constantly soft.
Dan
Yeah,
can't
it's-
get it hard.
That's
He's
a
not
lie.
able to get hard.
That's a
Yeah,
lie.
after that vaccine.
Yeah,
Well, no,
impotent now.
he's constantly hard because his blood's so thick.
But you just said he's constantly soft.
Well, I mean, when you're
Is
always hard,
Dan's- is
when
Dan's
you're
dick
always hard,
Schrodinger's
nothing's
cock?
hard.
Yeah, no, yeah. When you're all hard, nothing's hard.
Oh,
you
so
know?
it's like in The Incredibles when I
No,
see
shut
the
up.
mum.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit like that, I think.
She do be thick.
Shit, yeah, Pixar mums,
Bum,
man.
bum, bum, bum,
crazy.
bum, bum. You guys see that new Pixar movie? Have you got? Okay, here's like a topic we can end on. Speaking of the new Pixar movie, have you guys engaged with the Disney Premier Access stuff at all?
No, fuck that.
Yes,
Other than Black Widow, have you engaged with the Disney Premier Access stuff at all?
yes.
Okay, what have you seen, Kobe?
I saw Raya, the Last Dragon, and then Black Widow.
And do you think for Black Widow, I feel like that cost was fine for me because I probably would have seen it in cinemas twice anyway, so that's like the movie ticket cost in the $30 there. But for like, I'm interested for like one like Raya. Do you think that you got your $35 worth or whatever it cost?
$35.
Yeah, it was that. I think
Bruh.
here's my
I think
thoughts,
it's 2 movie
right?
tickets, Joseph.
Yeah, well, it is basically the cost of going to the
Yeah.
movies, but you're not getting
Here's
the
my
movie
thoughts on it.
experience.
I think that if the math works out for how many people use that early access, right? If the math works out so that more money ends up in the hands of the people that worked on the film, I think it's a good thing, right? I wanted to watch the film and I wanted to support the film, and the only way I could do that safely was to use the premiere access. So if it comes out that my $35 only, 98 cents of that went to like the bank that ended up paying the people that made that movie, I'd be pretty upset by it. But I'm willing,
It's how movies work.
if I want to engage with a product that I think that I will like, which I did. I really liked Raya and I really liked Black Widow. If it goes to the people that it's supposed to, then I'm happy paying that premium price for a little extra convenience and like to make sure that people are getting paid in this, during COVID, because I'm sure making a movie remotely is a daunting task when you're not in like a, the
That a lot of them people don't actually get paid more when you're making a movie.
No, they definitely
like,
don't. If anyone, the actors will get paid more. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
salaries.
I know.
No, I
that,
think,
but
but
you
I
know
do
what
think that's still like a valiant, valiant's probably not the right word, but it's like a respectable approach to it. My issue is what Joseph said before is like, yes, realistically, if I'm going to go see a movie, generally I'll go to a VMAX session. That's a $25 ticket, and I'll probably get a fucking popcorn and a drink, and that's $18 because the cinemas is a ripoff. So I've spent my $35 there, like easily, on my movie ticket and stuff. But for that price, I'm getting like the Dolby Atmos experience and the big screen that I can't get anywhere else. I'm getting the cinema like collective experience. And like for those of you who don't know, which if you're just a podcast fan, you wouldn't know. Like I'm a huge fucking cinema fan. Before COVID, I was going to the cinema like most weeks. I actually have a spreadsheet because I wanted to keep track of how much money I was spending. And I will just find it. But I went to the cinema like in let me find it. I have it in 2019. I went to the cinema 45 times.
That's almost once a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost once a week. So like and it just like the first time I did the Disney like premiere access, it was for Black Widow, and I feel like I would have 100% enjoyed that movie way more if I'd seen it in a theater, because it is just you don't get the vibe.
To be fair, I've heard people that have seen it in a cinema and even they didn't like it.
I mean, I liked it, but I feel like it's just different, and I don't think I'll do it again. I think I'm just gonna wait. Like I'm so upset that I didn't get the theater experience for Suicide Squad. Because I think that would, as like all of the boys like popping off and like the vibe in the room, everyone around would have been amazing in the cinema.
Suicide Squad would have been great in cinema.
But see, again, it's like it's that thing of if you still want to support it, like if it does come to the cinema, I'm sure that we'd go watch it again.
Well, so I tweeted something the other day, effectively saying I'm going to fight ScoMo and Gladys if we're still in lockdown when Suicide Squad's theater run ends.
I'm sure WB will have something where
it's not up to WB though.
And also they don't care.
Because when they send a movie to theaters, they make a deal with the cinema chains for how long it's going to be in cinemas, and then there's an exclusivity period where it can't be in like on a disc yet, which is what. And being on a disc is also when they can put it on a streaming service. But like no theaters are running it anymore because it's not doing enough numbers. So you get like for a movie like Suicide Squad, you might get like 2 months theater run, and then you have like a month or two of it being nowhere, and then it'll be on like a streaming service, and it'll probably be on binge here. And I don't want to have to give Rupert Murdoch money.
True,
more money.
More money. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's gonna be a fucking. So I'm just do anything like that anytime soon.
Just want to go back to the movies, man. It was so cool when they came back last year, like finally.
Yeah, and then you would go and not tell any of us. I'd be like,
I always said I was like, "Hey, I'm seeing Alien," but
that's untrue.
You would say it like 10 minutes before you're like in the cinema, and then I'd
say I'm about to go to the movies because I just fucking spontaneously I'd pull up the app and I'd just be like, "Oh, they're showing Alien," or like they're showing fucking Pulp Fiction. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll go see Pulp Fiction at the cinema."
I mean, we did see Star Wars Episode 4.
That was pretty amazing.
That was fucking
pretty
awesome.
That was pretty pog.
Yeah, do you remember when we watched? So Force Awakens at like 9:30, and then we watched Last Jedi straight after that.
No,
Yeah,
it was Force Awakens at like 10, and then midnight on the dot was like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That was a waste of time.
No, that made me like that movie so much in the theater because of like just the vibes. Once again, the theater, you can enjoy a movie so much more from the vibes.
I remember when I saw episode 7, people cheered
like
when
4
it
times.
said, when it said like when the Star Wars thing came up and it started doing the
I did. I was so excited. That movie is like.
And I remember when I exited the theater with my older brother, I said, "How did you like it?" And he went, "I didn't like it." And I thought, nice.
And then the killed your vibe.
4 out of 4 times I've been to the movies with my brother. We saw all 3 Hobbit movies.
Oof.
That's your fault then.
And I was 12. I didn't know any better.
Oh, you like the girl Marcus Dibble.
I also had never seen Lord of the Rings before that.
Oh my god.
I watched the first
What's
Hobbit
wrong with
movie
you? You haven't seen Lord of the Rings, or you hadn't seen Lord of the
What
Rings.
do you want me to
haven't
do?
seen Back to the Future.
I lived with a mum and sister forever. I didn't know Lord of the Rings existed.
You haven't seen Harry Potter.
I've seen 2 Harry Potter movies.
There's 8 of them.
Maybe a third one if it was on Channel 9. My memory, begets me.
I'm disgusted.
I saw the first. I was 12. I didn't know any better. Who was I supposed to talk to? My estranged brother that I only talk to when I see movies with him?
You could talk to literally anyone about any of those movies because they're cultural phenomenons.
Well, I wasn't friends with you.
But like, I don't know.
That is fair.
I saw them shortly thereafter.
You telling me that
I watched the extended editions?
I'm not going to dox his last name. You telling me your friend Pat hadn't seen Harry Potter?
No, he definitely had.
Yeah, there you go.
We watched Ratatouille together one time.
Nice.
Every time I hear more and more about that friendship,
it's just funny. Anyway,
we were friends because we just became friends because we lived near each other. Really? No, not really.
Interesting.
Is he alive? Because I remember
we're going in a rabbit hole here about someone that no one from the podcast, like everyone in the audience knows.
It's like how we went on that tangent that one podcast where I was in the Army Cadets. Did you listen to that one, Joseph?
No.
That was a story. We're not going to just talk about an old pod. I'm fucking ending it. We're out of topics.
Hey Dan, where can the people find you? No, where can they find Joseph?
Okay, where can they find Joseph? Not recording footy talk, am I right?
Hey, it was a good run while it lasted.
4 episodes.
We might do an end of season run.
Can I request one for the minor premiership and then one for like the premiership?
Why the minor premiership than the premiership?
Well, just because like they're milestones, okay? Like
not really. No one cares about the minor premiership.
I know, but just make one ever. Anyway, where can they find you?
Via Garibaldi.
Oh, you made pizza.
Go look at pizza.
You didn't bring me one.
I did make pizza. I didn't bring you one because
I'm not going to look at DMs because I can't remember what you replied. But I did ask you to bring me one, and then you laugh reacted it, and I thought that was fucked up because it wasn't a joke.
I had my nonna over, so I didn't want to expose her to people because you might have diseases.
Are you embarrassed to introduce us to your nonna?
She's met all of you.
Has she?
True. At his 18th.
At 18th. I'm not at my 21st. I can't remember.
Anyway, Coby, where can the people find you?
Yeah, where can the kids find you?
They can find me on Instagram at _55Coby55_ and at South_bound_band. We're still waiting for that announcement. We're still waiting.
What for Husband 4 stream?
No, that's already been announced. But we're waiting for a Southbound announcement.
Yeah, I imagine COVID's cocking that.
Yeah, it's coming.
And you can find me at DanielF737 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the Slalt Cast at Slalt Cast anywhere. You fucking throw a stone with the word Slalt Cast on it into the woods and Coby will come crawling out to say hey and tell you about the time he was in Army Cadets. So make sure you go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, fucking Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. Make sure you come over to twitch.tv/SlaltCast and smack that follow button. Just abuse the shit out of that bell. So that you can catch us.
England just lost the Euros. Smack it.
Yep. So you can catch us live whenever we go live. We're live every Monday and Wednesday, but this week we're going to be live every single fucking day. Tune in again tomorrow or on Thursday or the day when it comes out. I'm building Lego. It's going to be sick.
Virgin.
Make sure you also head over to the YouTube. We don't have a vanity URL. Just search up Slaltcast. And make sure you subscribe there so we can get a vanity URL.
Take a breath, bro.
That's where you can find the video versions of the podcast. Make sure, I guess, Salty.com's open again now, so go there too and buy a fucking hat.
I'll record an ad.
The merch is literally
episode.
as cheap as they would let me make it. We make a loss on some of the items, so it's as cheap as I could get it to be. Well, we don't make a loss, like it breaks even, but apparently they get angry, like, oh, you can't have too many things below a certain threshold. Anyway, just salty.com, buy a fucking hat and some toe warmers. And Coby's gonna sing us the song of his people to end the episode.
Hey, Joseph. Do you still love me?
What's it like in New York City? There's
a thousand miles away, and you look so pretty yesterday. I don't know the words to this song. I've never listened to this song before.
You are the only exception.